There's one thing that they always said it is like no shortcuts. And that stayed in my head so much because I was the one teaching people, hey, no shortcuts. Make sure that you do things right. And like, for example, when you're working with food, you work like first in and first out. And like, so that way you're not letting food that it's all just stayed in there. So there's a lot of things that you're like how to treat people, how to, there's always like the customer is always right, how to get that on a position where, yes, but in this industry, it's like, let me study the whole situation because it's different when you can just change a sandwich.
Welcome to the Cleaning Journey podcast, where we talk about the real stories behind building cleaning businesses that actually work. I'm your host, Misael Avalos. I started my business back in 2018 from scratch, and I built it into a 7-figure cleaning company. Now I sit down with other cleaning business owners to share their wins, their losses, their struggles, and their experiences that have helped them grow. Whether you're just getting started or you're already scaling, this is your place to learn, get inspired, and also level up your business and life. Let's jump in.
Hey, my name is Ingrid, and I am the CEO of Merely Cleaning Service. We are located in Virginia, and we clean all residential homes. We also do post-construction homes. We do move-ins, move-outs, and we also serve for short-term rentals or long-term rentals. Yeah, I have 10 years in business, and I'm excited about this.
10 years in business. And before our podcast, you started telling me a little bit about how you got started and very interesting way to be approached. And then you became a business owner. Tell us a little bit of how you got started in the cleaning industry.
Yeah, so I was working in the restaurant industry for 78 years. And I guess I had a great customer service. I just love to connect with people. So I had these clients that they will go to a restaurant all the time. And I kind of became friends. They were my friends. Actually, when I got married in the backyard of one of those clients. So
Wow,
I do
that's
connect.
cool.
Yes, and the other client, she give me the cake, the other one give me the decoration. So this is like older ladies that one of them never had kids, the other one had kids, but so they're very wealthy, and I just make a really good connection with them. So they were very sweet, sweet, sweet people. So anyway, one day they walked in and they were like, "Hey, would you like to come and clean my house?" And I was like, "What? Clean your house? How?" And she liked it. So I was like, "Okay, I will go because you are my friend and I love you." And I went to her house and I started cleaning. I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest. And she liked it. She liked it. And then she told her friend, her neighbor, and then her neighbor tell her neighbor. Here I am cleaning 3 homes from nowhere. I was doing that kind of like on the side of my restaurant job. I had a position that I was a trainer. I was a shift leader, shift manager, and I used to go to other states to open new restaurants. So I was the one in charge of like traveling and going to open new restaurants. So I learned a lot in the restaurant industry, and I just bring that to my business, kind of. Yeah.
Well, that's great to be approached by a regular in the restaurant
Yeah.
and they said, "Hey, come have an opportunity for you, clean my house." It must have been like, "What do you mean clean your house?"
Yes, honestly, because I know how to make your sandwich, your salad. I know how you like your smoothie and, I know how you like your food, but how do you like your house to be clean? I had no idea. But I also believe that sometimes other people will see potential on us that we don't and we have no idea.
I agree.
And Miss Betty, definitely saw that on me. And she was like, okay, do it. I was really scared. Honestly, I was really scared, but I also had nothing to lose. So yeah, I started, and
And
that
here you are.
yes, and that was actually my first experience as a cleaning.
And like you said, someone, which is very, very true. You know, people, it's easy for others to see the potential that we have than us see it for ourselves. And for you to be trusted by a restaurant to travel and to open up new restaurants, I mean, that tells you a lot, right? It tells you that you had a lot of potential already. People saw and trusted you, that you can lead a team, and they were entrusting you to start on another restaurant in other areas. That's You already had a lot of skills there. What are the things that you've learned? What would you say the biggest thing that you've learned in the restaurant business?
There's one thing that they always said, it is like no shortcuts. And that stayed in my head like so much because I was the one teaching people, hey, no shortcuts. Make sure that you do things right. And like for example, when you're working with food, you work like first in and first out. And like so that way you're not letting food that it's all just stayed in there. So there's a lot of things that you're like, okay, how to treat people, how to, there's always like the customer is always right. So like how to get that on like a position where, yes, but in this industry, it's like, okay, let me study the whole situation, because it's different when you can just change a sandwich than maybe it's not your fault or your cleaner's fault and they want like a new hardwood floors to be changed. So
Yeah.
it's completely different things, but I learned how to get to those situations and how to approach people about those situations. So I would say management, customer service, how to talk and treat people and learn that it's different. You can be working with a 60-year-old person, 18-year-old, 25-year-old, a single mother, or different size of people, but the message is the same. How you deliver that message is the whole different of having a great communication with your team. So that is definitely something I learned also in the restaurant industry.
Yeah, those skills are great. We need to know how to be able to manage a business so that we can grow it successfully, right? That the steady growth, and that takes knowing how to manage all of these different hats. But the communication skills, how to talk to your team and how to build those systems, and yeah, no shortcuts. I'm sure it's this you've transferred that into your business.
Definitely. I'm like, okay, are you cleaning a bathroom? No shortcuts. No shortcut. We're doing this top to bottom, floor first, and like because I also try to teach them like if we do that, eventually that will come out. Like if you're missing an area, if you're trying to work a certain way that is not the right one, we're cleaning. It's dirt. Dirt is going to come out. So when that comes out, it's like that is talking about you, is talking about how you do your job. This is a physical job, but it's also, like the way you deliver your service. And at the end, that's what's going to speak up of what you're doing at the end of the day.
I agree. What were those biggest challenges in the first or 2 years? Bring us
Okay.
back to those couple years.
Yeah. So the first 2 years was probably finding clients, definitely, because you're like new. It's a whole completely different clients and customers that you're like, it's different when you're in a restaurant. The clients are coming to you than when you are the one that has to go and look for your clients. It's completely different. Like it's just a different feel. But no, I was on it. I was like, okay. So I quit my job and I was full time on this. Yes, social media was not like it is now. I would say if social media, like it would be so much easier, but it wasn't back in 2015. And I did my business cards and just with my name, number, email. So finding clients definitely was, one big, but also learning and getting my process of cleaning, like mastermind how I wanted my service to be. So it's different when you're starting the cleaning business, you want your clients. So then you find these clients telling you, you need to go and like clean my attic, but maybe you're not supposed to be cleaning your attic, or go and clean the garage. And learning how is going to be your checklist, learning how is going to be your systems and your process, and be like, okay, this is why I offer, not because I want clients. I'm going to let people just tell me everything, and maybe you're not able to do it, or it is something that you don't want to do. You just don't want to do it. So learning my checklist, finding clients, and boundaries, boundaries. Because the first years you just want clients. I was answering my phone at any time. I was answering text messages at 11 p.m., 6 a.m., and like, you're just saying yes, yes, yes because you want those clients. Eventually, after that, I become a mom, and I got married, and I have other responsibilities or have more clients. So obviously, my time was getting smaller and smaller. So putting those boundaries on my clients and teaching them new systems were a big thing. Big thing.
What habits or mindset did you that helped you stay disciplined along that way? Because I think I'm with you, those first couple years, getting clients, trying to figure out systems, processes, those boundaries, very, very important. All of that takes time to put together.
Mhm.
I'm a true believer that you learn these skills through time, the time that you put in your business. And that can be a couple years, right? And what are those habits or mindsets that have helped you stay disciplined along the way?
The Cleaning Journey podcast is brought to you by Jobber, the all-in-one CRM built for service pros. From scheduling and payments to quoting and marketing, Jobber makes it simple to manage your business and impress your clients. I use it every day, and it's one of the biggest reasons my business runs smoothly. Try Jobber today with the link in the description down below. Try Jobber today by using the link down below. You can get 14 days free, then 20% off for the next 6 months. You have nothing to lose.
So one thing that is very like me, it's that I'm very organized. I am super organized. Like if something is not on my schedule, I'm sorry, I am not. And saying yes and no, like like right now, I can have an offer for like a big job, and the money might look amazing. But if it's something that is not in our capacity, have that mindset that it's okay to say no. So I would say being organized, boundaries, speak up the truth. And that will come up with no shortcuts. So with clients, you have to be honest, and more if you have made relationships. So yeah, right now, maybe I don't know all my clients by face, is the system that we have. I might not know them, but the majority I do. I try my best to step up in the house and see if I can meet them or something. But definitely, I would say being organized is my top number one. And having those boundaries with my team, my clients, it's really big, really, really big.
Yeah. Yeah, that mindset of knowing how to distribute your time, because I'm all with, yeah, you don't want to take every opportunity if your business is not ready. And then having those boundaries between first teaching your teams how to have the boundaries with your clients, right? There has to be boundaries there. We have to be professional at all times. That comes first. There's no, hey, I'm going to go to Facebook and Facebook friend you type of thing where teams start friending clients, right? There's those boundaries there. But yeah, I think you hit it on top of the head there with the opportunities, because people start taking clients because they feel like that's the best thing they need to do at a very low price. And then they're the ones out there cleaning, they're the ones out there putting all of this extra work, and it doesn't give them the right amount of time to focus on their business because they're trying to take every single opportunity. Talking about teams, since that's the most important thing in our business, what's your approach to building a confident and positive team culture?
So, one, you have to be honest with your team day one. Like, and if you're hiring someone and you're in the position where you have a lot of work and you or cleaning, you just lost like two cleaners and you have all this work. I would say don't hire just because you want to fill up spots or just want to like get the job done. Honestly, that can be very bad in the long run because if you don't take your time to know who you're hiring, if that person is going to have the expectations that you're looking for, if you're not honest of what you're expecting from that person. For example, we have some requirements that we're asked for, and maybe you want to like ignore two or three of those because you need a cleaner to go and jump in and get the job done. To be honest, at this point, I rather talk to my client and be like, hey, can we move your cleaning or can we cancel this one and figure it out with the client or see what I can do? Or if I have to put my uniform and go and get the job done, I rather do that. I honestly rather do that than just, okay, this person wants the job, but maybe don't know how to clean 100%, but she doesn't qualify for all the requirements that we have and just send her to do a cleaning. I wouldn't, at this point, I would not do that. I respect my clients so much and the trust that they have on us, on what service we're going to provide, and that the person I'm going to send to their homes, it has to be 100% prepared for it. So be honest with your cleaning crew since day one of what's your expectations. Number two, your cleaners and um, your team is not your friend. And this is very personal. This is just me. They're your workers, they're your employees. Yes, you can have great relationship with them. Of course, you can. But at the end of the day, I'm the boss. And I'm the one who's going to give you feedback and I'm the one who's going to tell you positive feedback and negative feedback. But the thing is, when you pass those lines of trust or too much, too much like friendly, and they start looking at you as a friend, not as a boss, that can bring a lot of problems because then when you want to be the boss and bring that maybe negative feedback or a client is having a complaint about something, then they're not going to take it the same way. So they're not your friends. At the end of the day, you are the boss and you have to keep that possession.
I was gonna say, how do you balance being the boss and still being approachable?
So that I was gonna say that now. So what I do is I like to do every 2 months, so 3 months, depending the season. If we're like really busy, or if I have girls out of town. But if I know everybody's in town and everybody's good, I try to do meetings with them every 2 months, 3 months, and get together with them. And I will bring them to like a restaurant and just go for a breakfast. And like there's meetings that are work meetings. Like I need to talk about expectations and remind them the rules and why they're here, what the client is expecting. So there's things in meetings that are especially for that. But there's other meetings that are more like, hey, we're grateful for you. Let's go for a brunch. Let's go for a breakfast. So that keeps you like the balance of like, okay, she's the boss, but she still cares about us and do those things for us. Another thing that I do a lot is on a normal day, I would just jump in a house and bring them coffee or bring them a muffin or bring them lunch, depending what kind of job they're doing. And while I am there, have that conversation, how they're doing, how they're feeling, is something they're like not comfortable with. Like if they also have feedback for us, for me, and I'm there to listen. So I am visiting and talking with them, but I'm in the field. So it's not like I'm inviting them to my house and have like a cup of wine or something like that. No. Or like going just for lunch with them. No. So that keeps me having that relationship, but not like a friendship, you know? So it's like I'm good, but also when it comes to time when I have to give you feedback and remind you the expectations of the company, it doesn't feel too like aggressive, but also don't put me in the position where like, man, I cannot tell her because she's my friend and she's gonna feel bad and that you know. So for me, that's been great for the last probably 2 years. You know, it's a learning process. Learning.
1000%. And I'm with you on that boundaries of being able to have the respect as an owner and not push that line where it starts getting tricky when there's expectations that need to be met and also that feedback. You don't want to be it's going to be a lot harder to give feedback to a friend versus someone you know that, hey, you're an actual employee. Is there a lesson that you learned
Oh my God.
that brought you to this point? If you don't mind sharing, I mean, we would love to hear it. You don't have to say names, but we would love to hear so that we could, because again, I think I know that the cleaning industry is very known to hire people because we need someone. There's a fire, let's just hire anybody. I don't care. You know how to clean. That actually, you don't even need to know how to clean. Do you breathe? Do you have legs? Can you drive there? Okay, perfect. You're hired. And
Yeah.
and I've done it too. I've done it too, and it's really bad. Right? You wanna hire slow. You want to be able to do very much of what you're doing. I would rather go clean myself than be in a rush trying to hire someone that's probably not going to be a good fit. So, or reschedule, like you said, just reschedule the client, communicate with the client, and that would benefit you a lot better than trying to hire someone really fast. But this whole boundaries thing is very, very important as well because I believe that, and I've done this, where you want to hold on to your cleaners, especially your best ones. So you get a little closer to them and it gets easy. It's easier to say, well, I need to be on their good side and be friends and do this and that so that they can stay with me. But there are lessons that we learned along the way where you gotta have that boundary to be able to set expectations for your business because at the end of the day, we are hiring people to work for our business model, right? We're not working for them just because they are good cleaners. We don't want to build our business around them. We want to build our business around us, our systems, our processes. So give us that.
Hey, real quick, do me a solid. Just like, subscribe, and share it with another cleaning business owner. We want to grow this community together because when we all learn together, the industry becomes stronger. Let's get back to our guest.
I have three that are really big, really big. So the first one was when I had 3 years cleaning. I got pregnant with my first child. I was working by myself. So 3 years working by myself. I had plenty of houses to do a full-time job by myself, but I got pregnant. I hired this girl when I was around 6 months pregnant and to teach her the houses, da, na, na. It was my first one. But again, I was in a position where I needed that person to work for me. So long story short, I stopped working and I was the one in communication with the clients. And I started noticing like my clients were just canceling and cancel and cancel and cancel. And I was like, what is going on? Like, but then I had my baby, postpartum. So then I find out that this cleaner was offering, she's like her own services. And I almost lost my whole company that I had been building for 3 years. This was in my first 3 years. So what but that time I had like 35, 40 houses and I was just working by myself. I end up in like from 7 months pregnant to like having my baby, like in 2 months. And I had to go back to work with a C-section 6 months, 6 weeks later. Like literally, I had my 6 weeks. Went to the doctor. The doctor said, okay, everything looks good. The next day, I had to go back to work. From 40 homes, I only had 12 homes. Yes,
This one cleaner
just one
took
thing,
all of these clients.
all of those times. So I had a decision in that very moment. I was like, okay, I can sue her. I can stop the business. Maybe this is not for me. This is the questions that were in my mind. Or okay, I have 12 clients. I already know how to get more clients. And I said, okay. I told her, okay, do your thing. And I also learned a lesson with the cleaner, obviously. Probably I shared way too much information with her. One. Two, I was also grateful for all those clients who left, to be honest, because they showed me that they were not loyal to me. One. And two, the prices I had were probably not the right ones. So in that moment, I was like, okay, we're going to raise our prices. And whoever clients come will come with a new price. My baby was born in November, and I went back, literally first week of January, maybe something like that, second week of January. By March of that same month, 2 months later, I had a call from my first Airbnb client. It was a property manager, and he had 15, 20 Airbnb properties. When you do things right, things will come around. How I see it, maybe I needed those homes to be gone for what was coming, which was a lot better because this was 15 Airbnb homes. Each home was a 3-9 minimum. We're talking about three of two cleanings per week per house. So you do the math there. Okay. So yeah, that was my first experience that literally put me on the spot of dropping everything or continue with the business.
Wow. I mean, that's tough. Just being, postpartum and then getting back into your cleaning business to clean houses. And not only just to clean, but I'm sure actually while you were cleaning, I'm sure you were thinking of all of the things you wanted to do to this person
Yes.
and thinking how unfair
How
someone would do.
fair. Look, it was to the point where I was in such a postpartum that I was breastfeeding. And I remember my husband will have to bring the baby to the property so that I was able to breastfeed my baby. Yes, it was a rough, very, very rough situation because I didn't even have time to like heal or have my time with my baby. So, he would have come and drive by the properties and I would step out and like breastfeed and then he would go back home so that I was able to breastfeed my baby. Well, I was cleaning it. Obviously, coming from like 2 months of not cleaning, postpartum, you had a C-section, you're not cleaning the same. I was taking probably double of the time. My body was like, you just create a baby and had a baby. So I had to go through all that. But yeah, it was a lot in my mind, to be honest, of anger and like, my God, how is it possible? But that's when I learned that in this industry, it can be this easy for people to just try to get away while you have been building for an effort and, a lot of.
Yeah. Well, if no one has told you, Ingrid, that you are a very strong woman, uh, and that you should be very proud of yourself,
Thank you.
I'm telling you now because that took a lot of grit from you. It took a lot of humility. It took patience, um, and forgiveness,
Yeah.
right?
To take advantage of, like, with your own hands, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And, good for you that you stayed focused. You did what you had to do. You're never going to forget the time that you had to breastfeed your child at a cleaning. You're never going to forget that. And that's going to be an amazing story that's going to follow you for the rest of your life of how you stuck to your business and how you said, you know what, I'm just going to roll up my sleeves. I'm going to be a strong mama and I'm going to do what I need to do. And good for you. Good for you. If that person is listening to this, you're very mean. That was not nice of you.
Not to a woman who's just having a baby.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Woman to woman. Ladies, you guys don't be doing that to each other. That is not nice. But hey, but that experience made Ingrid much stronger and focused, and God took God took good care of her while she was patient. And look at you. You got the Airbnbs. They came through.
Yeah.
Obviously from there you kept growing. What did you do different?
Are you uncertain about what you're doing in your cleaning business that's not taking you to the next level? Or you might feel like what you're doing is not the right things. It is okay. That's why I'm here. I help cleaning business owners just like you get the right answers, put good systems and processes to grow your business with confidence. Without confidence, you cannot be a business owner and lead your people. Click the link down below to schedule a free call. We'll talk all business and I can give you the right steps for you to take to give you that confidence back. I cannot wait to connect with you.
After that, I created my agreement. Like, so if you're going to work for me, you have to sign this.
1000%.
You want to be part of this? You're signing this that if you ever try to take a client from me, you're going to get sued or you're going to get this much money. You have to give me this much money. So after that, I was more like eyes open of who I was bringing to the company. And yes, I did create like an agreement of like, okay, you're working for me. And I think one thing that is different of me is that I always believe my whole movie. I would call it like that. Like since day one into now, I would say people like will see me and be like you're living in like this like whole like if you're like since I had like 2 3 years I was starting my business, I had such a like big vision of it. And I was like, yeah, you're working for my business. And like even though it was not like how it is now, but I always have like that like I created that people will feel, okay, this is not just like a cleaning lady. This is like a something real and serious. So yes, I did create an agreement for them to work for me. And with obviously with the years and your learning is being adding and adding more papers. So like when people now is getting hired, they have to like sign all these papers because obviously it comes with like information. Like if you're sharing your own information with your clients, that is a no. Or following our clients on social media or sending friend requests or like sharing their information or looking at their home information. This is like serious. This is not just no, you're sharing important things. So definitely having something in paper and that they can feel okay. If I ever think about it, there's a paper that is there. And the other experience, I would say it's very like tough hiring family members.
I agree.
Please, if anybody's listening to this, don't hire your family because it can be good for a certain time. That's it. So if you don't want to lose your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your mother, don't. Don't do it. Because again, at the end of the day, it's your business. You are the boss. And we're going through the same that we were talking at the beginning. It's different giving a feedback to a friend or family member than giving it to someone that you have no relationships than just is your employee.
Yep.
So definitely.
1000%. You have hopefully clicked some light bulbs in some people's heads today because it is very, very important that we separate family, friends versus employees, business. Like
Yep.
we're business owners, have a responsibility to have structure. We have a responsibility to have the character of a business owner. We can't allow things to come and take us away from that headspace. Everybody that comes in through here, you guys are all my employees. You guys all get treated the same way, but there is structure. At the end of the day, I'm your boss, and there's going to be expectations here. It can't be where a friend and you have an employee or a family member, and now you're different. You're playing two different roles, and that's not sustainable. And people are not going to respect that.
100%.
And it's very important that we earn that respect through being a business owner first. If you want to take your people to breakfast, if you want to take your people to lunch, it's a team event. If you want to take a couple employees because they've been doing really, really well and you want to take them to lunch, that's fine. At the end of the day, I'm your
And
owner, I'm your boss.
yes, and to be honest, like one thing that I did this year was like I was actually giving extra bonus to girls who were like honestly, like this year was and is probably our busiest because thank God every year is being the numbers like better and better. But this year, like I feel that maybe I did hire enough for our high season, but it was higher than I expected. I don't know if that makes sense. My cleaners were working, some of them, like the extra mile. I'm telling you, they were cleaning like two residentials. And because it's summertime, sun doesn't go down into like 8:30, 9 p.m. So after their two residential, they were getting off work at 4 p.m. and they were like, okay, you have an Airbnb that is not having a same day check in. I will go and do the clean. So they were doing like 3 homes a day. So those cleaners that they were like, oh my God, the company needs us. We're here. Baby, you will see that in your paycheck, just the extra home you're cleaning, but the extra effort you're doing for the company. So those are things that I did. Honestly, it's not, I know people is like, why would you give them extra money if you're already paying them? In my values, it's different. I appreciate people that it's taking care of my business. And I appreciate people that it's saying, you know what? You have extra work and maybe you have to figure it out. No, 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 no. I'm like, I'm part of this and I will do it for the company. Because that's one thing that I have put in their minds. At the end of the day, you're working for the company, not for me. You're working for the brand, not for me. So even though when I fire people, I don't use the words, you're not doing this for me. You're not doing this for the company. Your bad job affects the company. Your bad attitude affects the company. So, and your values and the type that you're working and how you're doing things affects the company. So, I feel when you make that mindset on people, you start seeing things differently. And it's like when you see these big corporations, like let's use Apple as an example. People's like, I work for Apple. I do this and I will go like my uniform and stuff because I work for Apple. Very humble. I'm going to say this, but our business is the best business in the area. So my cleaners feel like, okay, I'm going to tie up my hair nicely. I'm not going to wear like big earrings or like extravagant makeup. I'm gonna go clean, but at the same time, good presentation, good shoes, my uniform, my stuff is gonna look good because I'm representing that company. So those are values that you also work with your team.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that because it is the best way to grow a business is by representing everything as the company as a whole, that the company and the brand have a reputation. Whenever you tell my people all the time, whenever there's a disagreement going on between people, it's like, you guys are all wearing the same uniforms. We're a team here. As a team, we grow this company together. This is not individual, even though we do have solo cleaners, like You just don't grow this company as one. We grow it as a team. And yes, yes, your bad actions, your bad representation is hurting the company. And that's disrespectful to me. The fact that I show care to you and I'm providing you work and I'm providing you a healthy space to work in. It is disrespectful to me, but at the end of the day, you're affecting the company as a whole. And I think that that's very important, that when we're growing our teams and we're hiring our people, that we have important questions in our hiring process of what are your values?
Yeah.
Right. Knowing that, hey, when you come in here, you're working as a team and setting that foundation, especially with the employee agreement. This is these are the policies here. This is how we do things. And if you want to work here, this is going to be the accountability that we're going to hold you up to, right? How do you keep your team motivated to get up every day
Yeah.
and pick up their equipment and go clean some houses?
So like I said before, like I try to like do those I check with them. Like I try to call them, see how they're feeling. Not every day, obviously, not every day. I have a whole life also. I have two kids to take care of. I take care of myself and other things. So yeah, but to keep them motivated, I would say like I send text messages or I do like this. I will go and have a face to face conversation because I feel like we learn to know people. So we know when they're like a little like uncomfortable and you can feel their their responses or more if we're working only with women. Like we can be complicated sometimes. So, to learn that, but I send them messages or I also have talk about like giving them time off and like having like a whole day off and I will pay for it and just rest. And so make them feel that what's their expectations and I am taking care of them and what expectations they have. So if they want like 5 days a week, I will give you 5 days a week. If you only want 3 times a week, that's what I'm gonna give you. But having that, not losing that relationship or that connection with them, which is very important.
It is. What systems do you have in place so that your team is well communicated with your office, or how do you communicate with your teams?
We communicate via WhatsApp. We also have an app that is called Busy Busy, and they use it to like clock in, clock out. And it's by with GPS, so you can see where they are when they clock in and they clock out. We also have our own app. We created an app for ourselves, so it's just for the office and the cleaners. So they have all the information of the homes in there. So it doesn't matter who, like, we send you a schedule, for example, hey, you're going to clean this and this home. They go to the app, they have their own username and information, and they go and they see like a profile of each client. She doesn't like bleach or, make beds, don't park in the driveway, they're organic products and stuff like that. So that was changing everything because that way when the cleaner goes there, they just open up. It's like a profile of of the client. They see, okay, perfect. That I know what's the expectations of this client, how I'm supposed to do it, and important information. Go in, do the job, get out, clock out, have lunch, drive to the other home, clock in, do the job, same process. If they have extra information or something else, then they communicate with the office via WhatsApp, and that's the one that we're using. But between the clients and the office, we also have another system for it.
Yeah, systems are extremely important for
Amazing.
communication.
Amazing.
What's that one advice that you would give to the cleaning industry about building a solid team?
Be honest about your expectations since day one. Have a clear mindset of how you want to be with your team and do that since day one. This is what it is. This is our business. This is our systems. If you are okay with it, you can be a good fit for us. If not, thank you. And maybe this is not the place for you. We appreciate it, the intentions to work for us, that maybe we're not the perfect fit for you. Be honest. Don't be scared of telling people what's your expectations, and don't hire people just because you want to fill up a spot or get a client or a cleaning done. Reschedule that cleaning, because sending a person just because you want to like get those 100, $200 for that cleaning can cost you 500, $600 in the long term. And your reputation and your work ethic is going to be more affected than just losing money because you want to send someone. So be honest with your team since day one of what are you expecting from them.
When you set the expectations, you set the standard, and then the most important step comes from there is keep everybody accountable. When you do what you say and you keep everybody accountable, you create a harmony of a culture because that expectation is met and everybody knows what is expected from them. So now we're going to get into a rapid fire round. So in this section of the podcast, I'm gonna give you five. We'll do six. I'm gonna give you six questions and you answer it in one or two words. Okay. Leadership in one word.
Person who can be trusted.
Trust. Love it. Best book or resource for mindset growth.
Enter leadership of Dave Ramsey.
Marketing or sales? Which one drives your growth more?
Marketing.
Hire slow or hire fast?
Hire slow, 100%.
One thing every cleaning business owner should do daily.
Check on their clients' feedback.
Ingrid, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us today. Is there anything else you want to leave to the cleaning industry? And then also, where can people connect with you to follow your journey?
So I want to say thank you for letting me share my story. I hope someone can learn something of this.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I also doing this journal of like also helping other businesses. I've been doing it for many years, like for 4 years now. So if anybody wants my help, I'm here. You can find me on Instagram at Merely Cleaning Service. And yeah, I am a person that believes that everyone can grow. We all can grow in our own way. Whatever you have, I don't have. But whatever you have, there's a client that wants that, so we can all learn and be successful. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on.
Yes.
If you got value out of this episode and you took some notes, that is fantastic. You're one step closer to success. Now, do me a favor and share it with another cleaning business owner so that we can all learn together. My goal is to bring real stories from real cleaning business owners so that we can grow this industry together. So if you'd like that, please like and share, and I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next episode.